Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction, a read-through for Omniscient Reader or Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. Chapters 58 and 59, at least. Gonna at least do two. Again, how many I do per video is kind of depending on how long the chapters themselves actually are, but Omniscient Reader is usually fairly long in terms of chapters, and there's also like it's very content heavy, or at least dialogue heavy. Like, there are plenty of, if you read like webtoons, comics, manga, there are plenty where the page count can be long, but it's very art heavy, so there isn't as much to read and you can bust through a chapter pretty quickly. But Omniscient Reader has a lot of dialogue, a lot of narration, a lot of things being told to us. There's always a lot being thrown at us, and it's a bit of a heavier read. So to take all that in, it kind of takes longer to get through a single chapter of Omniscient Reader. So again, we'll just see how things go. I don't think there's too much to say before just getting into reading. Just taking a quick glance at last chapter before recording, I was like, it's really cool seeing all these, like, people start to gather. We're really heading into what feels like the climax of everything that's been going on. I'm interested to see some more of these characters that are involved in all of this. And then we have the cliffhanger with the Jiwon stuff, and I'm like, you know what? That was a little bit of an odd cliffhanger to end things on. But either way, let's just start reading. Again, there's not too much to get into here with that. We have farewell, Miss Yu. Take good care of yourself. Safe travels. You can do it. All right, and they're splitting up. Here we have Hyunsung is with Pildugong, and then Yu Sang-ah, I'm again presuming they're referring to her since this is her at the right. It looks like, I guess, going with Dokcha. She's already so popular, even though she assumed the role just a few days ago. She's amazing. And he's still wearing the cloak. Dokcha, do you really think I'll be of any help? You know I don't take just anyone with me. I know, but I don't know if I'll be helpful or as helpful as Hyunsung or Jiwon. Before I left for Gwanghwamun, we divided ourselves into teams. Excluding Junghyuk and Jihye, who were beyond my control, Hyunsung and Pildu were left in charge of the defenses. He's sure working me to the bone. Don't be so disappointed, Hyunsung. Work on your skills in the meantime. Yes, sir. I'll be needing your help once we finish this scenario. And Jiwon was sent on a mission of her own. Okay, so Jiwon sent on her own. Sorry for the quick pause. I was just making sure that the chapter itself was recording on screen for all of you. Just double checking that. Sang-ah, Gil-young, Sunguk, and I headed for Gwanghwamun. Okay, so this is cool because we're seeing Dokcha take different characters with him from like segment of the story to segment of the story. Don't want to necessarily call them arcs exactly, but it's cool that we're getting different focus on other characters now. You can do something that those two can't. I need you with me for this mission. You said you had a certificate in Korean history, right? Oh, yes. Do you remember the items I got from the statue of the great monk Samyong? There will be similar items on the way to Gwanghwamun, since there are more monuments and even the National Museum in that direction. We see flashback to the praying beads of the great monk Samyong, and then it's grade B and enhances recovery of mana. Oh, I see. There must be other relics and ruins that have the power of the constellations. Yes, your mission is to find such items. Why are you in your underwear? Quiet, unless you're gonna give me your pants. Okay, so he still does not have pants. Okay, I'll do my best to jog my memory. We're considerably outnumbered, so it's vital we gather as many as possible on the way there. The Tyrant King should have his incarnations, and the fake author should also have many men with him. The latter half of the fourth scenario is pretty much a proxy war between the high constellations. Sang-ah, with her knowledge of history, should be useful here. Come to think of it, I do remember a place. Can we do something about my pants first? Also, just the idea of constellations is crazy. So is it almost, the movie Hercules, the Disney version, almost like, because some of the constellations aren't like gods or whatever, but are actual historical figures. So is it almost like you become a constellation when you die if you're like famous enough of a person? Then again, the world of Omniscient Reader is confusing enough in itself because of stuff we talked about last time. I won't get too deeply into it because I feel like I would just be treading over the same place. But ideas of, so Sangha specifically here existed in Dokja's world before the scenarios began, but people like Jungkook probably didn't, because Dokja would probably know if the character in the story he was reading was also just a normal person. So, and also there's the fact that some people respond to the stuff like NPCs. So it's questionable, is it that some people here are real and existed, and then some people were NPCs that just spawned in? But then there were people like those two who, or like the two who read the story, who Dokja can see the character profiles of now. So when does a person... So they had to have existed before in order to have read the story, but they're also characters within the story now, according to Dokja's abilities. So can a regular person just become a character or an NPC? Or let's take this into a real world scenario, and you're living your life, and then all of a sudden 500,000 people spawn into the earth with the rest of us, and they just spawn in. They spawn in with memories of a past, but the past isn't really shared with us. It's almost like they're coming from a separate dimension. They didn't exist, but now they do exist, but they have memories of existing prior, just like the rest of us. Do they count as NPCs because they just spawned in and, at least according to us, don't have a history? Or are they still people? Because even if they don't have a real history along with the rest of us, they're still functionally human from here on out. In addition to that, they have sort of, a past programmed into them, essentially. So even then, it's like, are the characters or are the people within Omniscient Reader people or characters, or are characters people? So it's confusing, because even if you're trying to say which ones are like real people from Dokja's world or which ones are NPCs that spawned in, even then you run into the problem of, should they all be people, even if they are NPCs that spawned in? So, it's very questionable. The whole like history and knowledge thing and real people becoming constellations is the entirety of existence, including what Dokja's going through, just something that's written by the constellations, essentially. Written in by the one who's writing the story of TWSA. So even then, it's very much a what is real is nothing real scenario. But I'll continue. Come to think of it, I do remember a place. Can we do something about my pants first? I'm not sure if I remember correctly, but there should be a shrine nearby. We should drop by on the way, since there may be some powerful spirits there. Although he isn't Korean. Alright. Okay. Sorry, I was just taking in the shrine again. War of Kings Part 2. And we're having Gwanghwamun, Chungmuro, and Changshin all highlighted. So if they're going to Gwanghwamun, they are going completely opposite to where they need for their target station. Wait, is this? And they all look shocked. Who would have thought that there'd be a shrine to one of China's greatest generals in the middle of the city? The toxic fumes are gone. That was just for the second scenario. What should we do now? I don't think what I did with the great monk Samyung will work here. Let's try showing our respects. And he places an offering. Okay. This shrine has been abandoned for a while now. So I wonder then if there was a power there, much like sort of the items or whatever they got from the other shrine. If there was something there, but it's been abandoned because somebody else already got there first and took whatever was there. A constellation who wields a crescent blade is delighted by your visit. A constellation who wields a crescent blade has revealed his nickname. Constellation, Lord of the Beautiful Beard, has given you his blessing. The strength The blessing increases your stamina and strength by 5 for the next 24 hours. By 5? Wow. Sir, we've totally lucked out. And they think they've lucked out, but I'm assuming Dokja was probably hoping for something even better. Lord of the Beautiful Beard. Even though he's a Chinese general, all Koreans know of him. The shrine is to honor Guan Yu, a deified general of the Three Kingdom period. It's a little odd that a shrine to Guan Yu is in the middle of Seoul, but I guess it's because he's such a big historical figure, like how there's a shrine to the Korean Admiral Sun Sin in Japan. It could be because of the stories, too, because of, like, the Three Kingdoms period being super famous in, like, all of East Asia, or it could be because I'm not the hugest, like, person with knowledge. Like, I'm not super crazy knowledgeable about, like, every country in the world's history, but I'm fairly certain that various, kingdoms and empires from China probably held the land of Korea at various times. Then this is a good start, but I don't think we'll be able to get any items here. It'd be nice if we got something like his Green Dragon Crescent Blade. And then a bug lands on Gil Young's hand. Dokja. They all turn back. They have a group approaching with spears. And pointy shoes. In full costume. That outfit. They line up. Okay. Isn't that Seungmin Hwang in the front? Or Hwang Seungmin, maybe? Huh? They're a movie shoot at a time like this. They look like they're actors. Who dares block the king's path? And you are? I think I know who, though, thinks Dokja. That brown flag. Are you a king as well? Okay. I like these people. Their outfits look really, really cool. She looks awesome. Isn't that Min Jiwon? I see. You know who I am. I'm such a huge fan. So are these like actual actors that have taken on their roles in the post-apocalypse? Personal skill, Dispel Evil, level 2 activated. And he calls himself a hypnotist. If Sunguk knows who she is, then that means she isn't just a character. Okay, this is an interesting way of him thinking about it. Because Sunguk is somebody who read the story, meaning he had to have been alive pre-TWSA-ing of the world. And if he knows who she is in like a not character way, but like an actor or a famous person, that means that she must also have existed before the TWSA-ing. The King of Beauty, one of the 7 kings of Seoul in TWSA, was also named Min Jiwon. Could it be just a coincidence? Character profile. And it comes up, age 26, supporting constellation Lady of the Sleeping Brocade. Personal attribute, actor rare, King of Beauty heroic. Personal skills, weapon proficiency 5, military command 2. Military command again 2? Skin correction 1, Thousand Faces 3, acting 2. Stigma is divine charm 4, unique heroine 3. And overall stats are stamina 18, strength 18, agility 21, and mana 23, which are all fairly high, I think. Overall evaluation, a perfect match between the supporting constellation and the incarnation. Her beauty will shine even brighter thanks to her constellation. Her army remains loyal for as long as she remains beautiful. I knew it. She's a character from TWSA. Okay, but then how did Sunguk recognize her when he's not a character? Again, this is where it gets confusing. Because if he read, he might recognize her from the book, but that wouldn't make as much sense. So it's one of those things, it's a chicken and egg scenario, where did Dokja's existence pre-TWSA exist because it was written in and things were always supposed to go this way? Or, well, I mean, I guess that would be the other way around. were things already written into place with TWSA, meaning real-world people were already characters, and then Dokja and what he thought was his reality was wrapped into this already existing story, or did Dokja and his reality come first, and the story was written in and became a part of reality? So we're like hitting a chicken and egg paradox. It's an honor to meet you, Miss Mean. Are you also a fan of mine? Not really. And then, but how can I not know? The king of Songdonggu. She's pretty, but she's not my style. Sangha's just as pretty. It seems you're highly in tune with your supporting constellation. Please tell her that it's an honor to be in the presence of the last queen of Sela. And then, character Min Jiwon's constellation is startled. Lady of the Sleeping Brocade, also known as Queen Jinsung, the last ruler of unified Sela. I've seen cases like this in TWSA. There's no need to be so flustered. Are you not here to fulfill the wish of Sela? The incarnation and the supporting constellation can be so in tune that the supporting constellations can force their unfulfilled desires upon their incarnations, but they're unaware that they could die if things go wrong. If things follow the novel, then the 3 districts of Seoul, Songdonggu, Yongsan-gu, and Yeongdongpo-gu, are at war with one another, just like the later Three Kingdoms period of ancient Korea. And then, a bounty hunter scenario has arrived. Huh? A bounty hunter scenario? My supporting constellation wants to see how sincere you are. You will accept, right? And the condition is, the Lady of the Sleeping Brocade and other constellations of Sela want to crown the incarnation Min Jiwon as the true king of the 3 areas. Assist the incarnation Min Jiwon to defeat the other kings supported by the late Baekje and Taebong's constellations. You will gain favor of the constellation Lady of the Sleeping Brocade upon successfully completing the scenario. Time limit is 38 hours and the reward is 2,000 coins. I'll get straight to my point. Join my side. 2,000 coins? Seriously? That's really not a lot. The War of Kings is imminent. I don't know who your supporting constellation is, but the smaller groups in the area will be taken out. The only way you'll be able to survive is to... No. What? I don't want to. And they're shocked. 2,000 coins? Is she kidding me? Let's get going. We have a lot to do. Wait, if this isn't enough, I can give you more. Don't tell me you don't know how much 2,000 coins is worth. Don't you realize the situation you're in right now? I am the Queen of Sela. I will soon unite the 3 kingdoms and reign supreme. As a matter of fact, you're the one who should be paying 2,000 coins to join me. Don't you get it? Excuse me, Your Highness? She's really into this act. What is it? To my knowledge, Sela was the least powerful of the 3 kingdoms. Historically speaking, don't you think you're at a disadvantage? How will you... And then, what do you know about history? Are you a historian? I have a first-grade certificate in Korean history. First-grade certificate? And I have no idea what that equates to. That's nothing to boast about. I guess you're right. Let's go, Sangha. She doesn't seem to know history very well. Constellation Prisoner of the Golden Headband despises Min Jiwon's supporting constellation. So, again, it's hilarious. She's sucked into this because of the constellation impressing upon her, yet she herself doesn't actually know that much. Wait, how about 3,000 coins? Wow, 3,000 coins. the subjects in the background. No thanks. Constellation Secretive Plotter scoffs at the high constellation's offer. You've been gifted 3,000 coins. And that's funny. They just give him the 3,000 super chat. Like, that's so funny. Just throwing money out to show how it's nothing. 3,500. I'll give you 3,500 coins. If she only knew the messages I was getting right now. You've sold 5 copies of Revelation 6-tuple S-grade, Esger through the auction house. You've 5,000 coins. 3,600. No, 3,700. I knew it. How dare he play hard to get, she thinks. I'd like to make a counteroffer. How about 10,000 coins? 10,000? She's annoying. Was that too low? Well, you are a queen after all. Let's make it 20,000 coins. Are you pulling my leg right now? 20,000 coins. Don't tell me you seriously think you're worth that much. No, I'm offering to buy you for 20,000 coins. What? Her face. I really love her design so much. Her design is maybe my favorite so far in the entire comic. You and all your men, to be exact. He snaps his finger. What? There's no way you have that much? She's shocked. Just because you don't have much doesn't mean everyone's like you. And then make contact with the person you want to trade with. Do you believe me now? And there's much more where that came from. Miss Mean, not everything in the world can be solved with money. As an actress, you of all people should know that. I'm disappointed. Dokja. Was the man next to her? Yes, perhaps. He might be the incarnation of Guanchang. How dare you? Are you from Baekje? And then, Guanchang was a tenacious Hwarang, were an elite group of male youth during the Kingdom of Silla, who died during the Battle of Hwangsangbo. His stigma may be average, but his loyalty to his kingdom is unmatched. That woman, though, is she a celebrity? You and Sunguk both seem to recognize her, but I've never seen her before. What? Maybe. So, this was crazy too, because Sunguk had his character profile shown, but he also was a reader, and Dokja was considering him not a character, but he also recognizes somebody as an actress who is a character that somebody Dokja can confirm real, Sangha, doesn't know of. So it's almost like there are people that are existing between the state of real and character. I don't know her either, Sangha. Really, that's a relief. And of course, because these two were like... And again, it's complex, because Dokja can at least confirm Sangha existed before this, but when he read TWSA, they should have technically also been in TWSA, they just died during the first scenario. So, is it surviving? Is it one of those things where I was talking about when does a person become an NPC, but is it also a question of when does an NPC become a person? Is it when they break the bounds of where they were in the story and survive past that? And like forge new connections and stuff that never happened before? But yeah, again, really complex stuff. If Min Jiwon is a character from the novel, it makes sense that Gil-young and Sangha don't know her. But for some strange reason, Sunguk seems to recognize her. Sunguk, stop eyeing them and come over here. You said earlier that you're a fan of Miss Mean. What? Oh yeah, don't you know her? She's a famous actress. Huh? Miss Mean is... Wait, how do I know who she is? No, have I always known her? Character profile. I have heard the name Min Jiwon before, so I... And then we're seeing all the stuff we've seen before from him. Character evaluation currently in progress. Supporting constellation, manager of the old ticker. Attribute hypnotist rare. Sunguk's 9th renouncer attributes disappeared. So again, it's almost like a person becoming an NPC. Oh, is it because have we reached a point beyond where he read, and when you take somebody who's read and reach a point beyond where they've read, do they become normal? Or, I guess, NPC, which is not normal? That seems incredibly weird. But it's almost like I was mentioning people surviving past where they were supposed to. Is it also a thing of people going past where they've read? He's become a character, thinks Dokja. Main scenario 4, okay, we're getting a recap of Capture the Flag. 35 hours left until the scenario ends. Alright, again, very, very, very complex stuff. And it almost makes me wonder how deep the story is going to get into actually explaining it, or if one of the main points of the story is going to be that it's going to refuse to explain it in order to keep both Dokja and we as readers in this state of introspection about the story where we're wondering what's real or not. Because I feel like if it is just outright explained, then both for us as readers and for Dokja, it's like, okay, now we get it. Now we understand what's going on. But it might also be worth it just to keep going with the mystery. And also, one thing that kind of disappoints me going into reading this isn't a disappointment about ORV, but a disappointment about myself, is that I feel like I would enjoy this story so much more if I did know more about Korean history. So say, for example, I as an American reading it, who doesn't know a ton about Korean history, there's like all these references and stuff that I'm like, I believe you. I'm taking your word for it. But it has to be so much cooler, maybe, even? Or maybe it's less cool. I don't know. Like, if I were Korean, if I were raised in Korea, grew up hearing all these stories, learning about all these characters and stuff in history class, would it be cooler because I'm actually getting the reference? Or would it be less cool? Because imagine you write the similar thing. Imagine the people, because we know this is happening in big cities. Imagine you're in, like, DC or New York or something. The characters in ORV are in DC and New York or something, and there's all these people like, yeah, we've got the constellation Abe Lincoln supporting us. Oh, we've got the axe of George Washington. Would that be cooler, or would you be like, okay, maybe that's a little lame? So I don't know. I just think to myself, if I knew more of Korean history, would I get an even deeper enjoyment out of this than I already am, or would it kind of turn me off a little bit? But either way, I want to read one more, even though that was nearly 30 minutes. So let's go into chapter 59. Alright, let's keep reading. We have chapter 59 this time around. We're starting off with the statement, all renouncers who have read TWSA know the future, which is maybe going to get into how Sunguk became a character, which again I'm assuming is maybe that we've reached the point beyond where he's read. But we have 3 ways to survive the apocalypse, but Sunguk only knows the earlier chapters of the novel. Huh? Mean Jiwon. And then, the scenario must have progressed past what Sunguk knows when such a thing happens to a renouncer. Do they end up turning into characters? If so, maybe someday I could. Well, that's actually true. I was gonna say, like, what I was thinking last chapter, I didn't say it out loud, but I was thinking, oh, this happens to the others. But I was thinking to myself, this doesn't happen to Dokja. This just isn't something, because Dokja's read the entire thing. But now that he's thinking it, it kind of made me realize, oh, actually, maybe it could happen to Dokja. In the sense that, you know, time always marches on, and eventually, even if we reach the end of the story of TWSA, if we go beyond the story of TWSA, like if Dokja survives the ending, he finds the 3 ways, he survives the apocalypse, and then what? Does he become a character then? I mean, honestly, with, you know, the person who wrote TWSA essentially writing the world right now, pretty much, is Dokja in effect already a character, in a certain sense. But we see character Min Jiwon is slightly attracted to you. And then his face, that's such a good panel. What? Attracted? It's so funny. The quite possibly most attractive character is attracted to him, and is one of the only female characters thus far that Dokja hasn't at least somewhat expressed some interest in. And then, she looks more upset, if anything. I can't see that well, though. Wait, how could I have forgotten? Jungkook grabbed Jiwon by the collar the first time they met. I think it was in his 11th regression, and throughout that regression, Jiwon was into it. No one's ever been that rough with me before. I can sense an unpleasant gaze, an enemy perhaps. No way. I didn't do anything like that to her. Dokja? Yes, coming. I have a bad feeling about this. The insane masochist Jiwon. I hope I'm wrong. Because yeah, I think Jiwon, as much as I think Huiwon is gorgeous, I think Jiwon might be the most attractive character so far. I really love her design. We have War of Kings Part 3. Again, okay, and we are all the way at Gwanghwa Moon already. Alright. His heart began to race as... Sorry, when I see these boxes with colors, I just immediately... Kubera brain starts to kick in. But boxes with colors in this thus far have been Dokubi. His race began... His race began to heart. His heart began to race as he reached the entrance of the National Palace Museum of Korea. Most of the relics here are worthless, but one of them is a real treasure. The 4th Yin Demon Decapitator. Okay, that probably sounds a lot cooler in Korean. Gwanghwa Moon's most valuable quintuple S grade. Sorry, I was trying to count the S's there. Item should be hidden here. I know it was made up, but you've really done a number with the writing here. Right, so that's their fake prophecy. Hee hee, that wasn't a compliment. Wipe that grin off your face. If it's real, shouldn't we get to it before the others? Not right now. There's no such thing as an, quintuple S-grade item, but the 4-yin Demon Decapitator is still a great sword. Even Jungkook made use of it during his 3rd regression. Whoever's seen the revelation that we spread will definitely try to get their hands on it. So, Jungkook should be trying to get his hands on it, right? Because we are in the 3rd regression. And meanwhile, we'll use that chance to grab all the other relics. Oh, okay. And speaking of regression, somebody brought it up in the comments because I mentioned it in last week's chapter. Like, this entire time, I had been taking 3rd regression at face value and just not been, like, I guess paying that much attention. I've just been like, okay, so this is the 3rd time through. But then it didn't even hit me really until last read through, when I expressed it last read through, where I was like, wait, 3rd regression, that means it's his 4th time through, because there would have been the original and then each regression. So this is Jungkook's 4th time through. They'll make their move sooner or later. Sorry, it's just still Sungguk bearing all the thighs. We'll go when they do. My goodness. We have one of the Dokubi. I'm glad to see that you've all gathered in one place, and all good children deserve a prize. Okay, Dokja seemingly surprised by it. We have this creaking and rumbling. The main scenario has been updated. I was expecting a creature or something to come out, not a building. Main scenario number 4, the King's Qualification, has begun. Or actually, rather than a building, it seems to just be a throne. Category Main. Okay, difficulty A. Clear condition, occupy the ruler's throne on the main street of Gwanghwa Moon. Time limit 8 hours. Wow, short time limit. For people that aren't in the immediate vicinity. Also, it's a main scenario. That's weird. But people who aren't in the immediate vicinity, it'd be probably difficult for even them to get there with travel time. Reward is 10,000 coins. Penalty for failure is, okay, sorry, just taking this in. Only those who have completed the hidden scenario, or I guess there's no penalty for failure like some of the others. The only thing that's weird is calling it a main scenario. Because this feels like the other side scenarios. But only those who have completed the hidden scenario King's Path can take part in the scenario. The king who occupies the ruler's throne will be given absolute command over the other kings. Special additional clear conditions exist in this scenario. That is crazy. Given absolute command over the other kings. Alright, we have the throne set up with the Dokubi floating above it. A new scenario. This isn't good. We still don't have enough stations occupied to clear capture the flag. You seem flustered. Don't worry too much. You'll be able to take your time with the scenario. We only have 8 hours. As you may have already guessed, the 4th scenario was put into place to elect the one true king who's worthy of that throne. Of course, not any king will be able to sit there. It's exclusively for the one king who has proved him or herself worthy. I will now reveal the first qualification. Alright. King's qualification. 1. The one worthy of the throne shall be braver than the rest. The ruling throne does not want a weak king. You must have at least a black flag in order to sit on the throne. Additional qualifications will be revealed shortly. Damn it, this isn't good. Don't we need to occupy at least 20 stations in order to get the black flag? What do we do? We still need 10 more stations for that. There shouldn't be any vacant stations nearby. That's exactly why this condition was made. To my knowledge, there isn't anyone who has a black flag at this point, he thinks. Did you forget? There's more than one way to change the color of the flag. Oh? We don't have any other choice but to take another group leader's flag. Right. So it's causing the kings to go at one another. Alright, somebody yelling charge. Ignore them and run towards the museum. And all these groups start fighting. It's begun. Let's head west. It's a frightening sight. Sometimes I wonder if we're still in Korea. Sorry, just getting some water really quick. My throat was getting a little bit dry. It was Korea, and still is somewhat. Aren't you scared, sir? I am, but whether I'm a salaryman or a survivor in the world of TWSA, death will come for me sooner or later. What matters is how I choose to live my life. As long as I keep myself focused on that fact, run when I give the signal. For now, I feel that I'm on the right path. And I love we still have the two other guys just hanging out with him. And then the Seoul the Seoul Museum of History. What should we look for here? Seoul Museum of History. We need to find something called a Gampyeonggui. It's a disc-shaped relic from the Joseon era, but I don't know which floor it's on. We should split up since we need to find it quickly. Gil-young, you go with Sang-ah, and Sunguk. Get down. And an attack comes towards them. Everyone inside, now. Arrows imbued with mana. Whoever it is, they're quite skilled. Who could it be? Could someone have seen through my plan? Is this going to just straight up be the Tyrant King? Could someone have seen through my plan? You call yourself a king, Greenhorn? Give up your flag. Oh no, it's this other guy that we were seeing before when the messages were coming to him. We saw him from behind. They were coming to him and Jiwon. Min Jiwon. That was her name, I think. Give up your flag now if you value your life. Do so and I will spare your men. Character profile. Chu Wangin or Chu Wangin or Chu Wangin. I would have to see the Korean characters to know, so I don't know. I'll stick with Wang Yin. It seems like there's a lot of names. So Chu Wang Yin, age 33, supporting constellation, last hero of Hwangsan Bul. Personal attribute, bit part actor, normal. Personal skills, weapon proficiency 4, acting 1, find the weak 1, not great. Stigma, Baekji swordsmanship 4, fight to the death 2, and command detachment 3. And overall stats, stamina 19, strength 19, agility 21, mana 15. So not like the best, but not awful either. Overall evaluation, a living testament to how even a below-average person can become great when paired with a powerful constellation. His stigma can be deadly as he is highly in tune with his constellation. Okay, last hero of Hwangsan Bul. Again, if I knew Korean culture and history, I would maybe know. But also the fact that, the last hero, I guess maybe the last hero was one of the Baekje that we learned about before. Damn it. I didn't expect to run into the last hero of Hwangsan Bul here. I can see why he's a bit part actor from that comically dramatic tone he's using. Why did General Gyebaek give his power to someone like him? Again, I guess it could be Gyebaek. It would depend on the characters used, but probably Gyebaek. He may be small fry, but he has a high stigma level. It's going to be hard to take him unless I increase my stats. But I can't waste my coins here because I need them for the last phase. Maybe I can spare 20,000 coins. Coins in possession, we have 68,150. To pick on the weak in the name of your kingdom, have you no shame? Okay, and Jiwon's going to interrupt. Alright. What's the goddamn queen doing here? Such vulgarity, just as expected from a general of a ruined kingdom. King of Beauty, Min Jiwon. Where the hell did she come from? Did she follow me here? There's no way, she couldn't possibly... Character Min Jiwon is slightly attracted to you. And again, his face in response. Really? You were right about how I can't buy people with money. I'm here to repay you for my transgression earlier. That is all, so don't mind me. How could you involve yourself in such trivial matters, and you call yourself queen? Enough. How dare you speak to our queen like that? And we, again, still have the guy who's like a zealot beside her. Hwarang. Interesting. I can't believe someone actually signed a deal with that lousy constellation. Do you want to be beheaded like your constellation? Shut it. I'm glad that she came to help, but this is the worst matchup ever. As some of you may know, Guancheng was beheaded by Gyabek in the Battle of Huangsanbo. He's Guancheng, and he's Gyabek. Among the high constellations, there's a hierarchical system based on their actual past lives. So it is past lives. The constellations, when dead, are just reborn, written in the sky, essentially. A general of a kingdom cannot disobey their king, and rivals are given advantages and disadvantages based on their historical records. You should step down. You can't win. And such hierarchies are amplified the more the incarnations are in tune with their constellations. Dokja, we found it. Oh, and they got the disc. Is that already? Gampyeonggui, right? Great timing, Sangha. It's like a star map. We might be able to win. What? Let's reenact the Battle of Huangsanbo. And as some of you may know, Silla won the Battle of Huangsanbo. Character Chu Wangyin has activated the Stigma Command Detachment Level 3. Charge. And he sends everyone in. And that's where we end. Okay, very cool 2 chapters. Again, very, very, very heavy on the content. I don't want to... I've been discussing throughout this, so I don't want to yap too much here at the end in order to hurry up and get this video up for all of you. But I really, really enjoyed it. I think Omniscient Reader has really been hitting its stride for me, and I've just been enjoying it more and more. That's always kind of been the case. My enjoyment has grown every time I've read it. But now it's really, really, really started to click with me more recently. And I love, too, that we're finally up above ground, seeing more of the world above ground. I think that's really nice, too. The characters are coming into their own more. The philosophical stuff has been getting a lot more focus in the past read-through or two. So that's an interesting way to take the story as well. And again, another big point that I mentioned was, you know, I kind of wish I knew more about Korean history because I think it would make me enjoy this even more. But hey, you know, it's never too late to learn. Maybe I should study somehow. But either way, thank you so much for watching. I guess that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Comment down there to tell me what you thought of these chapters and my first thoughts and reaction. We can talk down in the comments. We can talk on Twitter if you want. We can talk on Discord if you want. Just, again, ask and I can give you a link to the server. It's free and open for anyone. If you would like to help support the channel to help me to continue to make videos, dropping a super thanks down below would be, you know, greatly appreciated. Or if you would like to get one piece of it early, if you'd like to get a shout out at the end of every single video, on top of the information that you're helping me continue to make videos, you could hit join down below or go to patreon.com/HakuofTheTubes, or a link will be in the description to become a patron. So huge thank you to the people who are already patrons and channel members. Thank you so much to Chosen Regular Evan Hawley, Magical Girls FR Nono, Smeller Dog, and Abyss Knight, Cheriton student David Langstaff, Slayer candidates SG and Stan Cedar, and Pure Element Pate Arealo. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.